everybody, welcome to SoCal Dram Tram. I'm Matt.
And I'm Cesar.
And today, before we get into this bottle, that's right, we're wrapping up Japanese Whiskey Month. We just want to go ahead and say, if you're new here, hey, thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. If you're a returning viewer, hey, we appreciate you sticking around. Nonetheless, everybody hit that little bell. That way you know whenever we drop a brand new video every Wednesday. Cesar, what do we got on the bar today?
Today, from the bar, we got this little Nikka from your bar.
That's right. Nikka from the bar or Nikka from the barrel? Let's find out. So, Nikka from the barrel. That's right. We're closing out Japanese Whiskey Month today. And I got to say, I'm really excited about this whiskey because I've never had it. This particular bottle's been sitting on my bar for a little while now. Picked this up at Cypress Craft Beer and Liquor. That's right. If you know, you know. Also, you can find them out online. They got a lot of good stuff. It's a small little hole-in-the-wall place in Cypress. So if you're local to Southern California, you got to check it out. Sam and Sean, you guys are awesome. We love you. We love continuing to shop with you guys. Support your local liquor stores because they definitely need it more than the big guys.
Yep.
Not that we're against shopping with the big guys at all.
But we are big.
I mean, yeah. So, Nikka from the barrel. Let me go ahead and tell you about it. So, founder, and I'm going to try to not butcher this name, Masataka Takatsuru. He went to Scotland in 1918 to learn the art of Scottish whiskey production. He apprenticed at 3 different Scotch distilleries, making him the first Japanese man to ever master how to make whiskey. In 1936, the first pot still designed by Masataka was made, installed, and started distillation in Japan. In 1940, the first whiskey from Nikka was launched. Released in 1985, the goal of From the Barrel was to deliver full flavors and the richness of whiskey like it was from the barrel. Blending together more than 100 different batches of malt and grain whiskeys, this whiskey is filled into used barrels and matured for another few months. When bottled, it's presented at a controlled 51.4% ABV, and it's known for having a mellow taste. So, 51.4%, nothing about that really screams mellow to me, but let's get into it and find out. Like I said, I'm really excited to get into this because I have not had it. This is one, I think this one set me back about $80, which is not bad. Not bad. And again, I really dig on the fact that it's actually being, produced, or at least everything that we can find. Fun little fact about this whiskey. So we've been joking in the last couple of videos that, hey, finding information about Japanese whiskey is really tough. Not necessarily the history, but like the contents of the bottle. And as I was doing my research for this one, literally on their website at the bottom of the bio for this particular expression, because Nikka has a bunch of different expressions. We're kind of thinking about maybe doing a couple of those later on. But there's literally a little link that said, this whiskey does not meet the requirements for Japanese whiskey as of February something 2021. So the point of that story is hopefully we're going to start getting some more regulation and some more information about what's going in the bottle, from Japanese producers coming soon. Because I would love to know, like, number one, what I'm putting in my body. They're like, it contains battery acid. But number two, and more importantly, I would love to just see more transparency. I am always for transparency when it comes to whiskey because I think we all win when it comes to that. If we know what's going into a blend, it's like, hey, why not showcase that? I would love to see the building blocks. Obviously, they're never going to give you the ratios, but I would love to, unless you're John Glazer from Compass Box. That man is a wizard. But I would love to know, what's going into a bottle to make up the whiskey. What are you kind of expecting as we get into this?
So, first off, I'd like to thank the distillery for packing it in a to-go bottle.
It looks like a growler.
You could just take this on the go anywhere you want. It's a whole bottle.
It's damn near a flask.
Like, look, my hand is taller than the damn thing itself.
And that's a 750. That's exactly. Not even a 3.
It's a to-go flask.
Yeah, it's not a 375.
one thing I do expect, I expect it to be good because when I first actually wanted to get into Japanese whiskey, and I'm like Googling all this stuff, the majority of what popped up was Nikka. Like the majority. So I was like, wow, I mean, I guess I have to for sure try one of those eventually because that's what's mostly popping up on my feed whenever I look for Japanese whiskey.
There's a lot of it out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm expecting good stuff as I always do with these Japanese. So it should be good.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have not had this, but this is, a higher proof Japanese whiskey, so I'm excited to see what it has to offer.
And they're all floral when it comes to the nose.
Oh yeah, they're all like floral. If you're a Scotch drinker, it's like here's a softball. Like this is right over home plate for Scotch drinkers for sure. Like if you almost exclusively drink Scotch and you're team Scotch is the best, like try some Japanese. I think it might surprise you. Or if you know that person who is a Scotch snob, like I used to be, pour this in a blind. Pour some Japanese whiskey in a blind and just go, which one do you like? Because that's what I did to him, and guess what? He chose a Japanese over an 18-year-old Deanston. That was fun.
I thought I had more flavor.
So I'll tell you, we just did the what's the one we did last week? Hakiyoshi 12, and that one was 46, and I thought that had a little bit more proofiness to it on the nose than this one, and this is almost 5 points higher.
Yep.
Actually, I should say it's almost 6 points.
Yeah, I agree.
A little bit more mellow on the nose in terms of the proofiness. Get a little bit of that honey lemon. I love it. I get through my nose and you're already like sipping.
Yeah, so, I mean, first off, these legs are pretty nice.
Yeah, it's got some oily texture to it for sure from what I'm seeing in the glass.
Second off, it's definitely punchier than any of the past this month's Japanese whiskey. There's definitely, you have to fight through it a little bit more. I still need to keep going for the flavors. You go ahead and name what's going off in your head.
You are not wrong about the proof. The proof shows up on the palate right away. Maybe it's because, again, the magic's gone. We batch shoot. So the three whiskeys we had leading up to this were all nice and 43, 46. Yeah. They're like, nope, let's kick this up a notch. But I think that is, for what they're going for, the from the barrel, right? As if we're standing in the warehouse and they just, take that whiskey thief, take some whiskey out of the barrel, pour it in a Glencairn, they're like, try this, right? You get it. You know what it's reminding me of in terms of the texture, in terms of the mouthfeel, in terms of the impact? Remember when we did that Booker's? Remember when we swished it around and we're like, oh my God, this is going to stay with me. Yeah. It's reminding me of that. You can check that one out up here. That was a fun review. Again, it's not tasting like Booker's. The sensation of drinking that Booker's, I think the one we did was a Kentucky Chew is what it was called. It's from 2018. And it the idea was like, you swish it around your mouth and it's going to stay with you. This one does something similar. And again, I'm kind of like you. I need to take another sip to really get at it. So what have you gotten?
So after tasting a little bit more, fighting through the alcohol, almost tastes kind of like walnuts to me. But the thing is, having to fight through the alcohol reminds me of eating something that was overly spicy, and then after you're done with it, you're still breathing with your mouth open a little bit because it's like, oh, I need to let that out. It's like this I think is doing the same thing, where even when you're done with it, it's like you keep your mouth open a little bit more, take 2 more breaths from your mouth just to kind of clear out the esophagus, and then you go back to the flavor. But past that punchiness, I'm really getting some light walnuts in there.
Yeah, I get a little bit of a toasted walnut. I'm getting a sweetness behind the proof note. It's reminding me of Pop Rocks, because there's a sweetness, but my mouth is also very tingly from the 51%, right? There's almost a confection sugar, powdered sugar note behind that proof note. It's got a certain level of sweetness where it's not just cavity inducing because of the proof. It's not offensive in the proof point, especially if you're, you drink whiskey or spirits often. This isn't something that I'm drinking. I'm like, oh man, I'm struggling. There's something to it. I'm just trying to get past it because that front palate is all proof. I think for what they're going for, from the barrel, they're nailing it, right? This is literally we poured it in a bottle and shipped it, right? They're nailing that. So what they're going for, 100% on the money. And again, it's not saying there's not any flavors and that it's all proof. They're there. They're just a little bit buried. So I'm very curious to see what this one does with water. Yeah. Looks like you're probably going to need more.
I think I would. That's why I only put like 2 drops. I was like, oh,
well, I'm going to let you pour this no-neck bottle after making fun of me.
Okay.
When we shoot the B-roll, folks, the stuff that leads into it with the music and stuff like that, I always do the pours. And this one, as you saw, didn't go so well for me.
Yeah, it didn't go so well for me either. I wasn't trying to put that much in, but here we are. Here we are, and there we go.
So I dropped about 4 or 5 drops in here, so I'm curious to see what happens.
Now I can drop 5 drops in here.
Ooh, got brown sugary.
Ooh.
It got brown sugar and butterscotch.
Jim Carrey. Ooh.
First of all, I don't know what Jim Carrey you're referencing, but it's alrighty then. I think you were going for Adam Sandler.
No, the way Jim Carrey expresses his words in a lot of his movies, I think that's like what I'm... Exactly.
Ace Ventura is one of my favorite movies.
Ace Ventura.
He's like out the car. Dan Marino's asking for gum.
I don't know. I love the cable guy. He's climbing up the ladder.
Oh my god!
He has a stapler.
It's so good.
Like that's when I first thought stapler could actually hurt someone. You know, I was like, oh, could it actually hurt someone?
That's the first time you thought a staple gun could hurt somebody?
Yeah.
My god.
Yep. I was like, oh, that's so smart.
I would hate to see Cesar's process of elimination with a staple gun. Like, will this hurt? Ow!
Hey, fun story. I did staple this part of my thumb when I was a kid, but I think it was like 1st grade. This was my... I remember like it was yesterday why I did it. My thought process was, well, the stapler perfectly aligns up with the sides of my thumb like after the nail. I wonder... Yeah, that was my thought process. I know it's dumb, but I was like, this lines up perfectly. I wonder if...
Did you eat paint chips as a kid?
Probably.
Hang out under power lines?
Well, I ate enough lead to be considered paint chips. So that Lucas, for all you kids, oh man, I couldn't get enough. I would still pay and sign a waiver to eat that crap. That Lucas was so good.
Caesar's like, lead? Sign me up.
Yeah.
Funny thing though, Cable Guy, like side tangent on this already super side tangent. I love Cable Guy. People would always be like, why you like Cable Guy? That's the worst Jim Carrey. I love it. Like when they go to medieval times and he starts singing the Star Trek fight music, oh, Jim Carrey at his prime. Like, make no mistake, Liar Liar is his prime, but for me, Cable Guy is so good. And Jack Black's in it. Like, everybody always forget Jack Black in it. He plays Matthew Broderick. Oh, so good.
Such a good movie.
Okay, so this has had some time to air out with the water in it. And like I said, brown sugar and butterscotch. Like, I'm getting a Werther's butterscotch hard candy on this. I haven't sipped it with the water yet. But I will tell you, the nose with the water...
Wow.
Really has done some wonders for me.
Holy crap, bro. This is 100% for my palate. 100% preferred with water. Holy crap.
It is.
Holy crap. Everything you were fighting for and striving for beforehand, it's all given to you up front with a golden pedestal with water. That is good stuff.
I was worried for a second. I was like, oh man, this is gonna go poorly. And then you had the water, and it's like, holy crap.
That is
much like the Cable Guy. You get halfway through it, and it's better. There's somebody out there going, no. There's a fight on a radar. No, seriously, folks. With the water, this thing opens the hell up.
Wow. So sweet. So sweet.
Yeah, candy sweet.
Oh, my God.
That powdered sugar note that I had mentioned comes straight up. Again, the proof point is still there. You could still add some more water to this, and you have a significantly larger pour than I do at this point. But it is butterscotchy. It's still got that oily mouthfeel. It's still sticking with you. There's an intriguing pepper note, like on the Yamazaki, which again you can check out up here. Drink it with water. Remember we were talking about back in our Blue Spot review. You can check that one out up here about doing an Irish mule.
Yeah.
Now I want to do a Japanese mule. With adding the water on this one, it opened it the hell up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is good stuff now with the water. It's not very often that we get this excited about water being on a whiskey, but this just opened it the hell up. Like, for sure. What else are you getting?
I mean, to be honest, butterscotch is the main thing I get with the water.
Yeah, it's a butterscotch bomb.
But I'm going to go into my review and saying this. He likes to throw in what it tastes like with water into the review. So if he's gonna review it, he's gonna make sure it tastes good with water too, or else he's gonna ding it a little bit. Me, I've never been
That's
like that.
how it holds up.
Yeah. Me, I've never been like that. I've always been like, what does it taste like straight? Forget the water. If it doesn't taste good straight, then forget about it. This, folks, I could tell you honestly, it's the first time I'm considering ranking up a little bit more with water because of how significantly different it really
evolved.
is. Yeah, how much it's a complete turn. So significant that I think I will rank it up. I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna rank it at 3.
$80.
I was gonna rank it at 3 out of 5. Now I'll for sure give it a 3.5. 3.5 with water out of 5. It is crazy better with water. Like I'm not gonna lie, just like you said, I was a little disappointed.
I thought this was gonna go off a cliff.
I was like, this sucks because without water, it's just like it's hard to fight through. It's not even smooth like a Japanese whiskey, and you gotta fight for these flavors. Throw in some water. Oh my God, it is something. It is something for sure. It's something enjoyable.
So you give this a what?
A 3.5.
3.5. Okay. Here's where I'm landing right now. Cable guy references aside. Cable gula. You're right. Without the water, it was going off a cliff. It was like a kid's roller coaster where you're just like, yay, right? You put water on this SOB and suddenly this is a thrill ride.
Yeah.
This is something that opens up. This is something that gets to be a lot of fun. $80, 51.4%. Something I forgot to mention. This is probably one of the more readily available Japanese whiskeys. I do see this one on the shelf fairly often. I see it anywhere routinely between $80 to $100. Oh, man. I was leaning to a 3 before the water.
Same.
With the water, I was leaning a little bit more towards a 4. For me, it's a 4. I think
Nice.
Because, again, you can play with it. And, again, you could add water and get more whiskey out of the bottle. Hey, that's never a bad thing.
That's true, too. I didn't think
So
about
for
that
me,
one.
this is a
You're
4
right.
all day
Absolutely
because
right.
of the water. Again, for me, neat. I'm going to pass. Like, this is one of those, like, I will pour it and immediately put water on it going forward. Because, again, with the water, it gets that sweetness. It's still riding a little bit of delicacy, but it's not all proof like it is neat. And, again, it's not saying I wouldn't drink it neat. It's just, as a whiskey nerd, I'm preferring this with water.
and once again, folks, like I tell you, he consistently rates his whiskeys on what they taste like with water. I never do. Even if they taste a little bit better with water, I still give it the original score because I just don't categorize it like that. This, folks, for me to raise my score for adding
this
it
is
with
why
water,
we do this.
That's how you know it significantly changed, like 250% better. No, like it's a strong, significant change to where I'm actually changing my
There's
score.
a noticeable difference.
Because I don't do that. I don't care about changing it with the water. I really don't care about the water. But when it changes it this much from where it was, oh yeah, it's noticeable. It's notable, worthy of making it a higher score.
On that note, let us know down in the comments if you'd like to see us do a little talkie review. We've done a little bit of something like that. It's a questions you want answered. You can check that one out here.
I was like, did you just butcher
No,
Nikka?
I did not butcher.
Talkie, what
But
is that?
what I mean is, let us know if you want to hear about kind of what goes into our review scores, so to speak. If you guys actually want to hear how we actually review something, because there are some different factors and we do differ in terms of like how we review. Let us know in the comments if you want to see something like that. It's something we've kind of toyed around and thrown back and forth. But nonetheless, have you had the Nikka from the barrel? Do you like it neat? Do you love it with water? Are we crazy? Have you had any of the other Nikka products? Because again, we are interested in purchasing some. Also, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We love interacting with you guys there. Until next time, Cesar, you got anything else you want to add?
Now, what about you, brother?
Stay safe, drink well. That's all for Japanese month. All aboard. Catch you next time.
Neck time.
Hey, everybody. Hope you liked that video.
Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Take it soon.
Hey, there you go.